Hello, and thank you for joining us today for our webinar with SOCi, how agencies can localize social ads at scale. My name is Lizzie, and I am a Senior Account Manager for Localize, and I will be your host for today's event. A few housekeeping items before we begin. This webinar is being recorded and will be circulated to all attendees with the presentation within 24 hours of the broadcast. Questions will be answered during the Q&A session at the end. You can, however, ask questions at any time during the broadcast by using the question window in your control panel. Our speaker today is Richard Lumsden, who leads SOCi as the Vice President of Business Development with 10+ years of experience within both early stage and Fortune 100 companies. Richard is responsible for deepening existing partnerships and empowering new partners to succeed through the power of the SOCi platform. Without further ado, I will hand things over to Richard to get us started.
Thank you, Lizzie, and thank you everyone for joining today's conference. Really appreciate you taking time out of your busy days to join us and to learn hopefully a little bit about how agencies can localize social ads at scale. As Lizzie briefly mentioned, I've been in the digital marketing space my entire career, approaching 20 years now. I've been fortunate enough to work in an array of technologies and at both the brand enterprise level as well as the local marketing space. I have had the opportunity to work in social now for the last 5 years, and I'm particularly passionate about this space, primarily based on the results that we've been able to drive customers and their consumers when launching campaigns. Outside of work, I'm a proud owner of the largest, smelliest bulldog there is, and I'm also a very erratic but passionate golfer. Now, I'm assuming that although your exposure or knowledge of the local social marketing space may vary, we're assuming that if you're attending today's webinar, you believe in social. You believe in the power of social, you believe in the power of advertising through social, and you're at least curious about localization. It may be that you are not doing these things today, but you want to learn more, and I hope that we can provide you with that knowledge and insights on today's conference. To set the stage, your customers' audiences and your customers are on social today. You've probably seen that the costs of testing or running social ads are significantly more appealing than a lot of traditional channels. We know that other channels can be, 10x, if not 100x, the 25 cents per 1,000 users that are the average cost of a social campaign. And I hope you all know that this is not a new shiny object anymore. It's an established channel and it's here to stay. It's a required channel in your portfolio offering of digital marketing solutions to your customers. You and your customers have to be investing in this channel as a major part of your strategy. Taking another quote to emphasize this point from the awesome Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary, who you may be familiar with, he's famous for taking his family's wine business from $3 million in annual sales to upwards of $60 million. Using almost exclusively social marketing. He owns the marketing agency VaynerMedia and is now one of the world's most renowned leaders in the digital marketing space. He's believed in the channel since day one, and he simply puts, every dollar you're not spending on Facebook and Instagram now, you will regret. Switching tact a little bit to talk about this local concept, something that's probably the newest or most unknown concept to most of you that are on the WebEx today. Now, what do we mean when we say local? I want to clarify this point first of all. Local doesn't mean small. What we mean by local, it could be a local location of a huge enterprise brand, or it could be a single location of a mom and pop SMB business. Today, we're focused on discussing how you, as the agencies for these brands and SMBs, can deliver this localized social marketing service to these customers and to scale it accordingly. You may have multi-location enterprise customers, or you may have thousands of SMB customers. We believe that the benefits are the same. We can focus our investments in these local campaigns to avoid wasting dollars. Let's say that you work with a weather-dependent business, for example, perhaps an HVAC company. They have locations in South Florida. They have locations in upstate New York. You don't want to be promoting a generic message about air conditioning units and the benefit of them in January, unless you can focus it on those South Florida locations. People in New York in January, the last thing they want to hear about is the benefits of air conditioning units. Likewise, just like we want to optimize investments across the channels we invest in, we also want to optimize at a local level. If we see better returns on a campaign in Florida versus a campaign in New York, we need to iterate at the local level to optimize across this wider group. And that's one of the major benefits that we can achieve when we run localized campaigns, and we use a platform that enables us to see this type of analysis and data. Now, we want to try and make this interactive, and we want to try and understand where you are in your localized journey. So we've created some polls. These polls are for you to hopefully engage with and give some feedback as to where you may be in your stage in the localized social marketing journey. So the first quick poll has come up, and I hope you can see this on your screen, which is, have you tried localizing your ad creative? And if so, where are you? So no, but I want to give it a shot. Yes, but we have not seen the results I want, or yes, and the results are great. If you could please submit an answer in this poll, we would greatly appreciate it, and we'll be able to share those answers shortly. Now, what I wanted to do today was, after establishing obviously the value of localized social ad strategy, I wanted to highlight a few key factors for you to consider as you're building out this solution and building out your capability, or optimizing it if it's something you're already doing today. I'm sure some of you will have encountered all or many of these problems or these challenges, and so I also hope that I'll be able to provide some adages of how to avoid them or resolve them in the future. So the first challenge that I wanted to highlight was executing ad campaigns for each location. Most agencies and partners that we encounter before they look at utilizing a platform work directly with Facebook Ads Manager, logging in at the local level and building a unique ad or campaign for each individual location that they're running ads for, if they're running local ads for them. I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir when I say this takes an awful long time. It's incredibly inefficient and can be significantly optimized when only a few key pieces of information are different on a location by location level. We can probably all relate to this. We can probably share an awful lot of stories about this inefficiency. Likewise, there's just other restrictions in Ads Manager. It's the inability to set different objectives for ads within the same campaign. Or if we're running ads for multiple locations, being able to specifically target the ad to the individual locations that we're looking to target. It's very hard and frankly almost impossible to achieve when any scale is involved. Doing it efficiently is virtually impossible. Now, we know that Facebook's not optimized to do this. Facebook built a solution, a fantastic solution, I think we all agree, but a solution that is generic and for every single use case. You need to leverage a platform for your specific use cases. In this instance, it's the Localized social marketing initiative. You need to find a platform partner who can help you do this at scale. And when you do find a partner that can do it at scale and can do it efficiently, the results are pretty fantastic. We're using one example here with the agency Mindstream Media. To give you some insight of this specific use case, Mindstream Media were tasked with, from one of their clients, a financial services organization, one of the largest in the US, to create individual campaigns at the local level for their financial services consultants. Initially, setting up just 100 local campaigns for each of these financial services consultants took about 7 minutes per campaign, or 700 minutes, 12 hours in total. Now, this obviously provided a pretty steep learning curve as to whether this could be scaled to the thousands of financial services consultants that this client had. However, by utilizing a platform, they were able to cut this setup time by 97%, so that these 100 campaigns could now be created within just 20 minutes. The added bonus was that as they scaled from 100 to 500 to 1,000 or to any other number above that, the setup time doesn't increase. The platform is created so that it's about deploying at scale, and that scale can be infinite. This allowed them to obviously utilize resources in other areas of the business. So let's walk through some of the features that are essential in a platform to achieve this type of result. Facebook Ads Manager natively, everything is there, but it's all siloed. It doesn't speak across accounts or across locations. You need to find a platform that can take these individual locations and have them working together to achieve your efficiency. Audiences is just one of these examples at the local level. You have to log into different customer accounts. You have to create an audience at the location level, and you have to deploy against that individual audience for individual accounts. A platform should have all of your audiences for all of your customers in one place, have the capability to share these across locations, across groups, across clients. You need to be able to create these master audiences for groups that can be localized at a location level where just one variable may be different. For example, the address of the business is the only variable in the group that needs to be changed. All other pieces of information are the same. Likewise, once these audiences are built, you need to deploy these ads. And rather than doing this on a location-by-location basis, again, you need to find a platform that can allow you to deploy at a group or multi-location customer level. Being able to group all of your plumber clients together, for example, and deploy a campaign against hundreds or thousands of locations. Furthermore, from a funding perspective, whether you work with an SMB model or an enterprise model, you need to have a simple function that can allow you to deploy the ads and bill at a location ad manager level or at a group level, so that again, you can reduce this friction and inefficiency further. Wrapping this all up in summary, deploying at the local level is incredibly inefficient and time consuming when working directly at the Facebook Ads Manager level. Making the effort and cost involved is almost prohibitive to any type of task, but localizing of ads and campaigns is crucial to your agency's success, so you have to find a way to do it efficiently. Challenge number 2 is really around content. We're bombarded today with ads. You have to stand out. You have to speak to local people about the businesses, the issues, the events that are relevant to them, whether you are a national brand or a local SMB. Like the targeting we discussed before, you can't possibly expect to create thousands of unique pieces of content for the thousands of customers or locations that you're looking to run ads for without spending inordinate amount of time and resources doing so. Or the other solution, which is almost even more challenging, is relying on local locations themselves to deploy this content, to customize this content. Opens up a whole new can of worms and a whole new set of issues with quality control and just general participation in that kind of initiative. A platform needs to give you the capability to customize creative at scale. Dynamic text is fantastic. It's a great asset, but imagery is likely the reason someone engages with the content that you're producing, the ad that you're setting. You need to create completely custom content at the local level. I'm sure most of you as agencies have probably been hired to do this task for your customers. You're probably doing it manually. it's probably very ineffective. You certainly can't keep hiring more people to bring on as you scale, and you certainly can't turn down the opportunity to scale. Margins, as we know in the agency space, are getting squeezed from every angle, so you need to find a way of doing this. Dynamic imagery and dynamic text allows an agency to create, one set of Facebook ads that update on a location by location basis on both a image and text level. It streamlines the localized ad creation process. It allows agencies to deliver on the promises that you've made to your customers for that unique, localized, customized piece of content, but it also allows you to preserve those all-important, ever-decreasing margins that you're encountering day to day. Again, what happens when you can do this? More than anything, you can reallocate resources that are skilled and trained in other areas that are today spending hours and hours and hours creating individual ads, because that's what you're being required to do for your customers. You can use a platform to get this deployed, to deliver on your promise efficiently. But what it can do for a customer, and this is again, another quote from that same agency, Mindstream, from the COO, it resulted in a 50% increase in month-over-month impressions and a 426% increase in conversions. Delivering that customized ad at the location level makes sense, but you have to find a way to do it efficiently in order to win as an agency. Once you've successfully created, targeted, deployed your customized ads, you need to ensure that you have the data and insights on those campaigns. We need to show what it did, how it did it, what it did, and did it work? And if so, how well did it work? And if not, where do you need to iterate and change? It needs to be realized at, again, both this local level, but also this group roll-up level. Until last month, I'm sure we all know this, Facebook had no real way to compile results across multiple Facebook accounts. It was incredibly time-consuming. It was incredibly manual again. While their new ability to analyze performance across multiple accounts is brand new, it is a V1. It is a basic solution. You need to ensure that your platform partner can provide this and provide more than what Facebook is providing today. You need to have intuitive reporting dashboards where the multi-location marketers can easily track ad spend and performance at a national level, a regional level, a local level, to gain insights and elevate advertising strategies to continue to optimize the spend that you're deploying. Your agency needs to provide customers at this, again, national and local marketing level with insights to efficiently manage the Facebook and Instagram ad campaigns that they're running through you. The simplified workflow across, hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of local business pages, empowering them to reach all these new audiences. You need to be able to have this reporting, on demand in advance of your customers' needs. They need to be able to ask for whatever group roll-up, whether it's logical to you, regional, sub-regional, alphabetical, national, whatever they need to request. You need to be able to quickly and efficiently provide this reporting so that you can, again, deliver over and above the services and plans that you have signed up for. Finally, I'm sure there are many of you that work on a centralized model, but I'm sure there are plenty of you that also work to employ a decentralized model for your, with your customers. It's imperative that you give this flexibility for both, whilst just maintaining the brand's brand integrity and positioning in accordance with their needs. You need to have the ability for this flexibility to deploy locally from a central account, as well as sharing content and creative from a corporate entity to local stakeholders to utilize. One more quick poll around this that we wanted to ask you is, how often do you work at the local level? How often do you get requested for insights and visibility into this performance? Is it most of the time? Is it sometimes, or is it rarely? Again, if you could quickly submit your responses. We would greatly appreciate it, and we look forward to sharing, these results with you. Ads Manager is confusing. If you have local owners or managers responsible for this execution, you need to give them access to the platform where they can easily navigate and deploy the ads that they want to deploy. I'm sure we all agree that the varying levels of tech savviness at the local level means that a lot of our campaign promises are incredibly difficult to achieve. Trying to train local business owners how to use a platform or how to use Ads Manager when they're also trying to run a business is a very challenging and time-consuming initiative. You need to empower these people without sacrificing their day-to-day business needs, but also without sacrificing the quality in the ads that you want to deploy. You need to have shared features that allow content libraries, audiences to be shared at a local, group, or national level so that these owners and managers can easily utilize a platform and also buy into its requirements and needs for the success of their business. They want to be able to use tools created for them, and they want to be able to utilize content that has been created by corporate to simply make decisions like, how much money do I want to put behind this great ad that my corporation has given to me? How easy it is to target the exact person that I want to target around my local store. Obviously, this is focused very heavily on a decentralized model, but I know a lot of you will probably deal with that challenge on a daily basis today. And here's just, again, a few more different pieces to consider that are being considered at a local level. You need to ensure that you're answering these questions or that you are providing capabilities to enable business owners to easily and simply achieve these goals, whether it's, again, setting up and deploying lead forms and quickly accessing those valuable leads that are coming in at the local level, being able to see the performance of ads and quickly and simply put more money behind them or iterate on them if they're not achieving their goals. So to summarize, when social is the second biggest source of new customer acquisition behind only word of mouth marketing, and 70% of brand engagement is happening at the local level on social, not the brand level. If you want your customers to succeed, they need to be doing so where these consumers are engaging, which is locally. You as agencies need to provide the resources for your customers to be able to achieve this, but also for you internally to be able to achieve these things at scale. Your resources are valuable. You need to invest in the tools that allow you to deliver efficiently and effectively on behalf of your customers without paralyzing your entire agency in delivering on the promises that you made to your customers. Thank you, everyone, for your time. I wanted to pass over to my colleague, Leah, for any questions that you may have had.
Thanks, Richard. Yeah, just to echo, I know there's been a lot of great information. Thanks, Richard, so much for your time. There is a Q&A panel on your screen. If anyone has questions, please feel free to submit those now, and we'll get Richard to follow up on them. So, Richard, I do have some questions here. The first one is around dynamic images and how that works. So specifically, if you have a client, for example, that is a taco truck, how do you make sure that the dynamic image is of tacos? If you have a taco truck client and a sushi truck client, how would that work?
Yeah, so you need to have a platform that enables you to create really unlimited numbers of groups of customers. So when you're able to create these groups of customers, you're then able to deploy against those groups at the local level. For this specific example, what the platform needs to be able to do is assign imagery at that local level dynamically, so that whether it's the taco truck themselves or whether it's the corporate entity of that taco truck providing you imagery, they can provide imagery that is attached at the local level, so that when you come to create these templated ads, if you will, it can pull in that local business's imagery and obviously dynamic text information to ensure that it's deployed against the right business.
Awesome. Great. Thanks, Richard. Another question is the platform that you've been talking about here, is it only for organic posting or boosting organic, or can you run truly paid social campaigns?
There are a number out there that are, I guess, point solutions. So there's a number of platforms out there that focused only on, organic, only on ads. We at SOCi do have an all-in-one platform. We cover every aspect of localized social marketing, from listings to organic to review management and to paid initiatives, both boosting and ads. Personally, I would prefer to only have to log into one platform to achieve all of these things, rather than logging in and out of many platforms and not having them speak to each other. But that's, I guess, a preference thing here. But, we're talking specifically today about paid rather than organic. But this functionality really should also be available in an organic form as well, as you must have organic content at a local page level, as well as those paid initiatives, in order to have really a full holistic localized social marketing business.
Great. So our next question is coming from a brand. And the question is that as a brand, they're relying on agencies to manage their paid social for them. If they want to bring this in-house, the challenge becomes as much staffing, right, as it does the platform. And just wanted to get a sense of your advice maybe for brands that want to start slowly test a platform and recruit the right staffing, how they might think about making that transition.
Yeah, I mean, we have customers that are both direct brand customers as well as agencies working on behalf of brands and businesses. The predicament is really the same. Doing it without a platform is incredibly time-consuming, resource-consuming, and inefficient. The case study today obviously emphasized that. If you're a brand and you're looking to bring this initiative in-house, you have to use a platform, probably more so than ever, in that your resources are going to be across multiple tasks, and you need to be able to execute this efficiently. By using a platform, you should be able to deploy this against whether it's 10, 100, or 1,000 of your locations. It doesn't really affect how much resource goes into it, as long as your platform's set up to work at that level. So you can really execute at a whole brand level on day one. But I think, first of all, you need to make sure that internally you have the right processes and procedures set up. You have your store's information correct. You have their buy-in on this. You have alignment on what goals you're trying to achieve at the local level. Those are the internal questions you need to have alignment on before you then go out executing. Otherwise, you're going to be executing, even if it's in an efficient way, without necessarily any kind of goals or metrics aligned to what success looks like. And you're likely to then just come back with probably a slightly scrambled localized social marketing initiative.
Great. So the next question is, when you think about these platforms and investing in a platform like this, obviously there's usually a cost involved to do this. does an organization need to have a certain number of locations that they're working with in order to drive a return on investment? And if so, how many locations do you think?
Yeah, that's a little bit of a sort of how long's a piece of string question. And what I mean by that is what you want to work out is to that earlier example, right? It took 7 minutes to create each local campaign. You times that by however many locations you have. You multiply that by however many number of campaigns you want to run per however many days that you look to run them for. You start getting to some pretty big numbers, and then you have to work out, if you're doing it yourself, who is doing that, or how many people are required, the cost of those people, and probably the cost, the opportunity cost of having those people do this over doing probably many other things that they are highly skilled at. It's unlikely you have people sitting in the organization purely for this initiative. So really, the number of locations is about, what is the cost of you not using a platform, and what is the cost of that platform versus what is the cost of not using the platform. We've seen, if you ask me for a really specific number, if you have a group of probably 25 or so locations and above, you're quickly going to get to a place where using a platform is significantly more efficient than deploying 25 unique campaigns every single week. You're probably going to find that you can quickly reach that efficiency. The more locations that you have, then obviously it significantly increases the efficiency from there.
Great, thanks, Richard. And one other question around return on investment. As we think about going local and spending at these local levels, what do you feel like is sort of that minimum amount of ad spend that needs to be going into those local areas?
Well, again, Facebook is going to give you a lot of that data. The Facebook platform, the Facebook algorithm is far smarter than any of us are going to be. You should utilize that, the pixel, etc. Like, get your pixel smarter. Start off broad. Allow the learning machine to do its work to identify more ideal customers for you. You're going to be able to hopefully see very quickly that the brand dollars that you're spending today to market at a brand level on social can easily be refocused at a local level and deliver, certainly in our experience so far with some of the brands that we're working with in this capacity, a significantly better ROI at an actual local store level, like real sales, people actually engaging at a store level, going to a store, buying products. We can see that rather than at a brand engagement level. So you can start refocusing, or at least reattributing parts of that budget to a local level, and see a better return than marketing at the brand level.
Great. Those are all the questions that we've seen. I just want to say thank you so much, Richard, for your time. I think if anyone has additional questions, feel free to email us. Here's that email address, hello@meetsoci.com. If anything else comes up, feel free to shoot it over. I'll share that with Richard, and we'll get back to you. But that's it for us, and Lizzie, we'll hand it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Richard and Leah. Great questions and good discussions. And I just want to thank you guys again at SOCi for putting together the webinar for us. A few more items just from Locology before we end today's webinar. You'll be able to view today's broadcast along with previous webinars on our website, which is locology.com. You'll just navigate to the research and resources, and you'll see the drop down for webinars. We also have an event coming up. We would like to invite you guys all to join us for our main annual conference, Locology 2020. It's going to be in San Antonio this year, March 16th through the 18th. Our annual conference brings together leaders and locals from across the United States and internationally for discussion, education, and networking. We'll define what winning in local looks like in 2020 and share our vision for how the local market will change radically by 2025. Registration is open, and you can find more information on our website. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please be sure to visit locology.com and subscribe for updates to be the first to know about future webinars. Have a great day, everyone.